Hola, ¿cómo estás? You are listening to Sylph Radio.
Oh, God, please don't.
No, I was going to say I don't know if I should do that or not.
No, don't.
The answer's no.
No, please don't.
Too late, they say.
Oh, God damn it.
I apologize. I apologize on behalf of myself and the Pokemon Company, although I have no affiliation with them. No affiliation with the Pokemon Company, with Nintendo, with Game Freak, or any of that. Just Secret Room Multimedia and Sylph Radio, a Pokemon-centered podcast. That's what you're listening to. I'm your host, Nathan Kappesser.
And this is Jeremy Vine, formerly Jeremy Davis.
And he's Jeremy Vine from now on, so don't question it, just go with it. If you're new to the show, boy do you got a treat. Jeremy is a fantastic guest host to have.
Why, thank you.
We are back to the basics, talking about Pokemon again. On the next two episodes, we've got sort of a themed double feature here. The next two episodes, we're going to Hoenn.
That was bad.
Was it as bad as the intro, though? See, so I softened the blow of this one by being exceedingly racist. I'm not...
Barely.
I'm not racist.
This was almost as racist. It felt like racism in some strange way.
Well, today we are covering the most racist Pokemon. I don't know if the Pokemon itself is racist. Like, I don't know if it experiences racist thought, like if it has racist thoughts or feelings or attitudes. Probably not. It's probably a pretty fun, chill
pretty
Pokemon
chill
to be around.
in its supremacist and privileged state, and just...
The Pokemon itself?
Yeah, totally. It has to be.
It's got to be the very best.
At racism.
I don't think... No, what I'm saying is, like, I don't think Ludicolo is a racist.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But the Pokemon design, the inspiration...
I personally think that it had to be spawned from Satan, and
okay.
Since it was spawned from Satan, it tends to have, like, shitty qualities, you know? So racism is a possibility that it has in its little Ludicolo heart.
Sure. Anybody's capable of racism.
There you go. See? So since you can't disprove it...
You can't commit racism unless you're privileged, but... you can still be racist.
That thing is privileged under the Pokemon umbrella. That thing's untouchable.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like it can't be touched at all.
It is, of course, the topic of our episode, the Ludicolo family. We're talking everybody from Lotad to Lombre to Ludicolo, the most racist Pokemon. Everybody wants to say Jynx this, Jynx that. No. Have you not seen the Mexican... It's okay, we're going to talk about it. I don't want to blow the load too early. So we're going to talk about it. And I can't... It really boggles my mind that I don't see any news articles about this or anybody taking issue with this in the public eye. I think we've talked about that before on the show, but we're really going to get in depth today.
Like really, Holy Mother of God, this thing.
This thing. But... before we get into the ludicrous Ludicolo talk, it's been a while. We are slow to the publishing episodes game, and we're sorry about that. We're trying to make a concerted effort to do more Sylph Radios more often. But it's been a while, and Pokemon Go is now officially out.
And it is officially my new addiction.
It is officially everybody's new addiction. Everybody has played it except me, because I don't have a smartphone.
Except for him. See, I own it. My addiction.
You're enjoying it.
Oh, yeah, totally. Previous said addiction comments notwithstanding, I also enjoy it and am addicted to it. So there's that positive silver lining to a horrible, crushing life habit. So far, I'm kind of new to it. I've only gotten to like level 9 and my highest CP, I guess. That's like curve of power or something. It's my highest one is like 387, and I've been seeing people trolling around with like 1200.
Yeah, I don't have a reference, but people are talking about level 7000 Psyduck or something, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How do you? So, but somebody told me that you're supposed to be able to transfer these to Sun and Moon when it comes out. But
I have not heard of that at all.
I don't know if that's the case. I really don't, because first of all, you only catch male Pokemon. I don't know if anyone's considered this, but except in the case of like Jynx or Nidoran female,
right?
You only you don't catch female Pikachus. You can tell by the tail.
Yeah.
As far as I know. Somebody, if I'm wrong, please let me know on Twitter. The Twitter handle is @FairPointPod or on the Sylph Radio Facebook, wherever. However you can get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Find Nathan Kappesser on Reddit for all I care.
They could also just be being lazy and just going with the standard original 151 like sprite design because that's all they've got in there right now. They've only got the original 150 at the
They're
moment.
releasing Johto soon, though.
They will be, and apparently they'll also be implementing trading.
Yeah.
And they don't have in the legendaries yet. They also don't have in
code,
Ditto.
though. They're in the code.
They're in the code. They also have, like, code breakers have looked and they have seen that there's, like, corporate sponsorship. So even though you might want your Mythos Pokemon, like Zapdos, to be at some great thing like the Lightning Valley of the Middle East or like Mount Fuji for Articuno,
cool.
You're probably going to find them in your nearest Walmart or McDonald's, which I find crushing because
when they decide to have it be an event thing, to be like, come into McDonald's now and catch your Articuno.
Yeah, and I'll be like, yay, happy meal bird. This will never be a legend in my eyes ever again. I will forever think of it as synonymous with diabetes and heart disease. That it will be the diabetes bird, whichever one I get.
Guys, forever. This is my Moltres. His name is Brimley.
And this is my Articuno, Wilfred.
And this is my Zapdos, Richard Reilly. So... I've been a little butthurt that I can't play Pokemon Go because I thought by investing in a 3DS I'd be able to play the new Pokemon games. I thought if suddenly every single person in the world started playing Pokemon, I'd be in the know because I had a 3DS. I was already on top of things. Nope, because I don't have a fucking smartphone. I don't give fucking $80 a month to Apple. God damn it. God damn it. As Wilfred Brimley would say.
You know what's even better? Morgan Freeman plays Pokemon Go.
For real?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And he did a moment where he recorded himself with a, what's that flame dog? The legendary Pokemon.
Arcanine?
Arcanine. He found an Arcanine in his living room.
Cool.
And he said...
I found an Arcanine in my living room.
Yes, actually. He narrated himself with his phone and went... the day that Morgan Freeman found an Articuno in his living room is the day that he realized he would never rejoin society again.
I'm Morgan Freeman. I found an Arcanine in my living room. Released to Birch. I'm Morgan Freeman, bitch. No fucks given.
Oh my God.
Is it Birch? No, wait, what's the professor in this one?
Willow, I believe his name is.
Willow. Released to Willow. Fuck, released to Birch.
Because he's Morgan
Freeman. They gave me the transfer. I transferred it to my Diamond and Pearl version.
Beautiful.
Birch is from Hoenn. I don't give a damn. I'm Morgan Freeman. Hillary, did you see Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton's like, I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I want them to Pokemon Go to the polls or something like that.
What?
Oh my God. It was so bad.
No.
So bad.
Bad, Hillary. Bad. Go back to your cave. Just stay there. Stop bothering the townspeople.
Right? Maybe if you go to the polls, you can catch either Groudon or Kyogre, depending on which team you're on and how you want to destroy the world.
Yeah. Like, no.
Oh, sick burn. Anyway.
Because he picked, the fire one.
Speaking of which team you're on, which team are you on, Jeremy?
I hated them all, honestly.
Okay, well,
like every last one of them.
Glad to hear that.
But when you get to level 5, they pretty much are like, pick a fucking team. Or we shave you when you're asleep. It was either, go under the teachings of Sun Tzu in the Art of War, which is Team Red. They call it Valor.
Now, wait, do they actually describe what these teams stand for in the game?
They actually
do.
Oh,
they do?
Yes.
I think I read it then, but I thought it was just somebody... Okay.
So Team Valor is all about fighting, power in the battle. Team Yellow...
Instinct.
There it is. Thank you. Instinct. It follows nothing to do with instinct, so therefore my instincts told me to ignore that it was ever named that. it goes off of eugenics. So all about eggs and hatching them. Like, they're all about crazy egg hatching. Team Mystic, they try to give it like a we're like the people for self-improvement shit, but really they're all about evolution. So one studies the art of battle, one studies the art of egg hatching, and one studies the art of metamorphosis and evolution in Pokemon.
Yes.
I hated them all, but out of the 3 heads of the demonic hydra, I picked Team Mystic because I'd rather not try to enlist the symptoms and problems that are inherent in eugenics, and I'd rather not just see my Pokemon pals as tools of rampant and wanton destruction upon the land.
I've got a little theory about Pokemon Go. Stop me if I'm just being a little bitter as an outsider to the whole thing. So you have to join team. You have to join these teams that stand for things and have these like mission statements or whatever.
I know where this is going.
You have to just collect massive stockpiles of the same Pokemon heartlessly and coldly.
And feed them to your overlord.
Yeah, and then just send them when you don't want them anymore. You just send them to Willow. Send it to Willow or Morgan Freeman.
Oh, it's worse. You have to send them because you can only hold so many. And you send that Pokemon to Professor Willow, and mysteriously you get candies named after the creature you sent there to feed to
make
the
them
one
evolve.
that you want.
To make them evolve by some unnatural, weird means, not by bonding with them.
To make them stronger and to evolve.
Yeah, to make them, And then also you conquer gyms and take over gyms and stuff. You know
it's like
what?
Capture the flag.
I've been playing Pokemon long enough to see what's going on here. All you motherfuckers are playing the villains. You are the bad guys. You guys playing Pokemon Go, you are the bad guys. And I, with my 3DS, am still playing the heroes. By the way, Sylph Radio, perfect thing to listen to while you're playing Pokemon Go. So while you guys are out there playing Pokemon Go, listen to Sylph Radio. Tell your friends it's the best thing to listen to while you play Pokemon Go. I'm all behind people playing Pokemon Go.
As long as you admit that you're part of a horrible mastermind evil organization. I prescribe to the other theory. I believe that we are what was depicted in the games all along, but not necessarily the evil teams. If you look at all of the trainers that you see as your adversaries along the way, while you only get to pick 6, and they have ramping power levels and you get stronger, right? And you journey actively. All while you've been in the games, you've been seeing these people who just stand around and walk back and forth, or spin in circles, or hang out at gyms.
You're talking about the real people in walking around with their smartphones.
No. In the DS games and in the regular Game Boy games.
In the DS games, you see the NPCs just walking back and forth.
Walking around back and forth.
Now that's what we are doing with our smartphones.
That is literally what we are doing. We are going around in circles trying to figure out which direction a Pokemon is in. We then head back and forth between Pokemon stops to pick up dropped caches of items that you, the hero, get every once in a while, but you've moved the fuck on. But other people are farming Pokemon stops, picking up items, trying to find these Pokemon, getting like 5 of the same kind because they can't get anything else.
Yeah, and as you know, I work at a mall, as the listeners may know, depending on how fervent listeners they are. I work at a mall, and we are packed all the time with people playing Pokemon Go that don't intend to buy anything. They're just looking for Pokemon. Yeah. It's like, I feel like an episode of the anime with some small town. Like, there has to be an episode. They've done like 700 episodes, and they're so not creative. There has to be an episode where there was a small town, and there was some type of Pokemon Go rush. Like, what? There's Digletts in that there town? I gotta catch me a Diglett and go fight Lieutenant Surge.
In the original ones with the original Ash Ketchum, there was a Diglett Surge where everyone was going crazy trying to catch
4 Digletts? Wow, I guess that was buried in my fucking subconscious.
4 Diglets, and then a whole bunch of the Diglets fused together to make a bunch of Doug Trio to fuck them over and mess up the town.
But then the towns, I feel like the townspeople in this quiet little town, like, you remember when they had the film festival in South Park, or when they built the monorail in Springfield?
Yeah, no, it was. It was this quiet little nowhere place. And they were
Wait,
trying.
that's not what the episode about Springfield was like. Anyway, I'm sorry.
And they were trying to build like a road, and the Diglets and the Doug trio were just like, no, get out of our dirt. We don't want a road here. And then so they had to go on a fervent Pokemon capture hunt.
So it's a little different, but I just mean like in a small town, and then suddenly the town is overrun by all these Pokemon trainers that are just coming to catch the Pokemon. And you're like, get out of my town.
It was a big.
I'm trying to go to the grocery store. God damn it! God damn it!
Yeah, Well, that was the thing, is that they.
I need to get my insulin. God damn it!
They held a big event in the town saying all trainers are welcome to catch these Diglets because they couldn't find another way to get rid of them. That's why Ash ended up in the place. Because he went there for the festival to catch Diglets so they could make a road. Anywho, so we are literally the jackasses, because you'll be wandering around in the game as the hero in the DS and Game Boy games, being like, why the fuck is that asshole just walking back and forth?
Right? That's us.
Constantly.
Yep.
Why? What benefit does he get just running paces? Why?
Well,
why is he doing
You're right, Jeremy. I think we're both right. Us with the 3DSs, we are those heroes, the protagonists with free will. They go along, they bond with their Pokemon, they train their Pokemon, they actually train them and level them up and develop personal relationships with them to make them stronger and evolve. And then all you guys with your smartphones playing Pokemon Go.
Well, no, that's the other thing. When you go to a gym, you can actually do battles in the gym with the gym leader. And it can also raise the CP and the power points and whatnot. So when...
Okay, but what I was saying was like, yeah, us with the 3DSs are the heroes, the protagonists walking around, and then you guys with your smartphones are the NPCs of the world, the sheeple that we're on our way to fight the Elite Four, and you guys are catching Caterpies and
there isn't even an Elite Four for us.
No, you're just catching Caterpies, and you're being duped into joining some fucking teams and shit.
Yeah, we're being duped to join the league, and yet we never excel because we don't have the personal hookup with the professor.
The teams are criminal organizations and terrorist organizations.
Why do you think that happens?
You think it's all the league's behind all of it, man?
Yes.
It's a whole new podcast, man. Wow. Open your eyes.
Like, the criminal organizations exist. Criminals always exist because of an inequality in their system that they rail against eventually.
Have you seen the first unknown on the list of unknown? What's it look like? What's it look like? The first unknown. If you look at the whole list of unknown, what is it? A pyramid with an eye at the top. Illuminati confirmed. Why else would it be the first one? Don't give me that it looks like an A, goddammit. Don't tell me it looks like an A, goddammit.
Oh, God. So, no, it just... That
shouldn't have brought up Wilford Brimley, Jeremy. I brought up Wilford Brimley, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Sorry.
For the love of God, we're those...
No, you did. You said diabetes.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
true.
said it like that.
I did say diabetes. And for the love of God, we are those jackasses just running around. Somebody's going to get frustrated, and they're going to just like steal other people's smartphones, take their data plan, just take stuff, figure out what the hell their network is.
And then you'll see some kid with a 3DS, and he'll be like, hey, stop that. I'll beat you in a Pokemon battle. And he'll be like, oh, I can't. This is just a bullshit app game. They don't really fight. They don't battle. Sorry.
Yeah, so they automatically win, and there's nothing for you to gain, so they keep on moving ahead. And they reach a satisfying concluding goal.
I'm like 32 and you're like 12, so I'm just going to keep stealing her smartphone.
It's true.
I like Pokemon now. Now that it's free on my phone. All right, before I get too passive-aggressive towards the people that I'm just basically just jealous of because you can play a game I can't. We've got one more little bit of news to cover before we move to the topic. It was announced that Legendary Pictures is officially producing a live-action Detective Pikachu movie.
No.
Now, here's where I stand. We actually talked about the movie.
No, that was my stance.
Yeah, I know.
The whole thing.
We actually talked about this a couple episodes ago. Me and Antoine discussed the fact that there was a bidding war going on for live-action Pokemon, and I expressed the sentiment that I think 10 years from now, it might be a good idea because there will probably be a Quentin Tarantino, meaning somebody who grew up on this source material that Hollywood trusts to make them money and the fans trust to make a good movie, who's like, oh, guys, let me do it. You know I can make you money, and I'll make the fans happy. I grew up with Pokemon. I get it. There will be a director like that in 10 years that's big in Hollywood who understands Pokemon. Right now, I don't think there's anyone up to the job that actually gets Pokemon that could do it well like me or you could if we were film directors. Not to, all I could see is a shitty children's movie where they watch one episode of the show. They're like, yeah, I saw it. It's for like toddlers. Just get the guy that did Alvin and the Chipmunks 7 and have the Pokemon are in New York and they got to get used to iPads and fucking there's fart jokes and pop music.
My problem, actually, my skepticism is the technology itself. There are some very unique, interesting designs that are very particular with Pokemon. And if you fuck it up, there will be no immersion that will be possible enough to make it seem like anything less than hokey and unbelievable.
Well, this is kind of why I wasn't sure how to feel, but I'm starting to feel better now that it was announced that it's going to be a Detective Pikachu movie for a few reasons. Number one, we know it's going to just be Pikachu. They don't have to worry about, do we do more realistic depictions of them? Do we do this? No, because it's probably just going to be Pikachu. Maybe they'll make you see like the hair on his face, add a little more money into the CGing of him, but they're not going to change Pikachu's design. It's going to be Pikachu with a little detective hat. So that it's not, there's probably going to be other Pokemon possibly in it, but I can't see it. I see it now being like they're going to preserve the way the Pokemon look.
It's more about anatomy as the problem. Pikachu's design in a live-action film, it's not like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where you have clearly a cartoon painted over film with live-action stars. They're going to try to do something new and experimental with the movie setting, and they're going to try to take something that is very much a cartoon physiology.
Yeah. Again, another reason I'm scared of
make it a Pokemon. Yeah. I can't see it working with the current technology they have and making it immersive enough, because they will have to change the design.
And it's all going to be CG, because I would prefer getting some Henson fucking really like some Stan Winston effects, some Henson effects in there, and using CG, but also using some practical effects, because you want to feel the Pokemon, because you want to feel the relationship between this.
Yeah, you want them to literally perch on the shoulder or any of those other cool things.
I'm also like, well, it's Detective Pikachu. They're not taking on the Pokemon movie, which they would most definitely fail at. Absolutely not a shadow of a doubt they would fail at doing the movie about the aspiring Pokemon trainer setting out on a journey to conquer the league or whatever.
Right, absolutely.
They would absolutely fail in all respects to do Pokemon, the movie, or the Pokemon movie, or just Pokemon. They would fail. Detective Pikachu, they have a substantially, no matter how high their chance still is of failing, it's very much substantially higher that they'll succeed than it is with Pokemon the movie. Another thing to be happy about is maybe they would actually spring for Danny DeVito, like the fan petition we discussed. I was like, guys, they're not going to get Danny DeVito to voice a disposable throwaway DS game that no one's going to play in a year. That's a big paycheck to give Danny DeVito to do nothing for you. Like, that'll sell that game and then it'll be done, you know? And but for a movie, I could see him springing for Danny DeVito. And also, if this movie's horrible and terrible, it's just the Detective Pikachu movie. It's not the Pokemon movie. I was very worried that if they made a Pokemon movie, it would ruin the franchise. It would cement the franchise as like everyone would now, as bad as the when we were growing up, Jeremy, we're like, no, guys, it's a cool thing that we like. Like, it's actually really cool if you look at the original game and use your imagination the way the original game intended you to. It's actually really cool. They're really cool monsters. You're going and traveling, fighting against badass trainers. It's actually really cool. The TV show is for kids. It's for little kids.
Right.
And it's a toddler's thing. And everyone would look at it as, oh, Pokemon? I don't play the fucking Pokemon. Oh, Pikachu. And this movie would just further cement that is what Pokemon is. It's for children. It's for babies. It's a fucking dumb cartoon. They made a stupid movie where Pikachu farted while he was twerking to Katy Perry, and he's like, oops, ooh, Pika Pika, and everyone's like, ha ha ha, and then he forgot how to use an iPad, and
that made me throw up
Donald Trump.
Yeah, that made me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
And so if they fuck up Detective Pikachu, though, I feel like it'll still be a blow to the Pokemon franchise, but it won't be like as tragic and devastating
See, people think that, and then I point to the Dragon Ball Z live action movie. And
But
when have
what if
they
it was-
ever tried that again?
See, well, it's different too, though. Like Dragon Ball Z is a little different because everyone knows Pikachu and Pokemon are synonymous. There's no character from Dragon Ball Z that I can pick that someone who has no interest in anime would recognize. Possibly Goku. If they heard Goku, they'd be like, "Oh, what's that? Dragon Ball Z?" But not moms. Moms would be like, "I don't know who Goku is." You know what I mean? But moms would be like, "Oh, Pikachu, yeah, he's the Pokemon."
Still, that's the problem,
No,
is
that-
that
no.
it sets precedent.
That was still a Dragon Ball Z movie, though. It's still called Dragon Ball.
Right.
This will probably be Pokemon Detective Pikachu or something, but like it's still, yes, you are right, but it doesn't, it's not the Pokemon movie, which is a good thing. Like it's just a side thing.
But that's the problem, is that if it tanks, because of how narrow-minded most of the people in Hollywood are when it comes to money-making ventures, if the Pikachu detective movie tanks and it's a live-action type thing, they're going to carry that stigma that live-action Pokemon movies just don't work.
Woo! Bullet dodged. Awesome. Then I could ask for nothing more. Good. Don't make the live action Pokemon movie then. We'll handle it in 10 years when you guys have all moved on and retired and your piles of cocaine and money and strippers.
See, like I said, my bigger thing is if it does set precedents, you have to remember the old bastards tend to shape the viewpoints of the new bastards. So
No, it'll...
tends
Pokemon,
to, which is
No,
why
but the thing
Hollywood
is,
over the decades still ends up having these same stupid tropey.
But now we're getting
trends.
Nintendo movies again. For 20 years we didn't because of Super Mario Brothers the movie. It's a very real thing what you're saying. But Pokemon is too powerful a franchise that's not going to die. It's going to be alive 10 years from now and kicking.
No, and it will, just like Mario is still alive.
So what I'm
and
saying
kicking.
is eventually, though, once more people that grew up on Pokemon are further in their careers there, and Pokemon is still a viable money-making franchise, it will have another chance.
But you always
And
have those old money fuckers
good.
who are just like
I said, good. It'll keep them from doing a shitty Pokemon in the meantime.
I can hope. We can all hope.
And if not, okay, we don't need a live-action Pokemon. It'd be awesome if we had a good one, but since it's so unlikely, we don't need one.
Well, exactly.
We got Pokemon The Origin.
We've got that stuff, but we also have Pokemon movies. They're all animated, and they do well for what they do.
Right.
So live action seems kind of gimmicky to me in the first place.
Yeah, because it's not going to be handled by somebody who loves the franchise and wants to and has a vision for what they want to see out of a live action Pokemon. Like,
Right.
I would love to see one because I have a vision in my head for how it could work and how it would be awesome,
Right.
and how you could instill that feeling of magic that we feel that captivates, that keeps us addicted to the Pokemon franchise, because there is a feeling of magic in it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Like anything is possible.
and like just the majesty and beauty of it, and like of these creatures and these locales and this lifestyle.
Hashtag
The-
Pokemon
if
life.
Whoever was making it in Hollywood would just be making it to make money and to take a job and to. So the
And to
studio's
profit off
making
the
it to
popularity.
profit. The director's making it to take a job and get his name out there or whatever. Yeah. So let's move on. Before we beat the dead Mudsdale into the ground.
Mudsdale.
New Pokemon. We'll talk about it next week. Let's jump in with Pokemon number 270, Lotad.
The wetback Pokemon.
It's actually the waterweed Pokemon, okay? Bubble hash, get it straight.
Uh-huh.
Lotad. It's also worth noting that this Pokemon family is the only water grass type.
Which angers me to no end.
Me too. It's a really cool type combination that you think would have been obvious by now. There's so many things you can do that are water grass type. And it has not happened until they were like, hey, what if we, how there's like gardeners, and most of them are Mexican.
I honestly believe that there's a conspiracy to hold back using more of those to force people's acceptance of Lotad and its family evolution.
A conspiracy?
Man,
Illuminati was already confirmed, so anything's possible.
Yeah, not necessarily like that kind of seedy kind of thing, but like a marketing strategy. Because they know what the hell they do.
I don't think so.
I
think they just like to hold back on interesting type combinations so that they're always a big deal when they decide to do them.
It's not just that, though. It's that, think of how many incarnations since the old school, like Ruby and Sapphire, where it was introduced, right?
Yeah. It's really
it's
weird.
been so many of these in iterations of the game now, and they have not made another
You think
at all.
Nintendo's just like Morrissey putting the fucking hand in glove on every best of, even though it didn't do well in the charts?
It's just
It's just like, fuck you, you're gonna like this.
Like, legitimately, it's for people like me who are hardcore grass trainers who look for type combinations to seed out the advantage for fire types, for instance, it's the only alternative. It's also one of the few grass types that can learn Surf, for the love of God. It drives me insane, and I honestly believe that it's done intentionally to slowly just get people to accept the idea that Ludicolo should just be, like, in. They know that if they make any other water grass type, no one will use it.
I don't think they care.
I think they do.
Okay. Well,
I think they do so much that when someone makes a YouTube presentation of Sun and Moon, they actually report that person and get them shut down. That way their video becomes #1 when you go to search for Sun and Moon intro. I think
wait, what does it have to do with Ludicolo?
That they care that much about content and content control in their games.
Oh, yeah, but that's different, though. No, a company going online and like when they're promoting a game, cracking down, it's bullshit. I agree, but that's different from a company being like, we need people to like Ludicolo. We need people to like this beautiful creature Ken Sugimori designed. It's so beautiful. Why don't they like it? Fucking Donald Trump likes it. Why don't they like it? He liked it so much he was going to build a wall in its honor.
I don't know.
So Lotad is this odd little chubby blue Pokemon. It's got 6 stubby little legs and a weird yellow upper bill with no lower bill, sort of suggesting a mustache.
Mm-hmm.
It has.
Are you sure that it's 6 legs? Because it seems like it has 4 legs and a tail to me.
No, it's got 6 legs. 6 little legs. That's the noise they make. And on its back, it has a green, like, lily pad-like leaf that sort of forms... It's shaped sort of like a dish, and it uses this to float across ponds, and will sometimes use it in a very friendly way to ferry other Pokemon across ponds. Strike number 1.
It also has been stated that it collects water inside of it to water plants.
On its back?
Yes. It has been known to carry water on its back.
Strike
thing.
2. It carries water on its back, and it ferries Pokemon across the rivers and ponds and stuff. You know, like the Rio Grande or something.
Yeah, Rio Grande, totally.
So there's the first 2 strikes against this fucking Pokemon. Oh, there's more. There's more.
Yes, there is.
But let's still give it its... we're doing the National Geographic thing. We're not just trying to call out the creators for racism. We're also trying to explore it as a breeding population within Hoenn.
He is.
It's.
I have an agenda.
This leaf on its back, this leaf wilts if the Pokemon doesn't regularly drink water. Like when it leaves the water, it has to keep drinking water, or else the leaf will wilt. And if the leaf dies, it grows super weak. The leaf is way too heavy for the Pokemon to stay on land for very long, so it lives in water, and that way it can float and not die. But very rarely, it ventures out onto land to search for new, clean water. And whereas the normal ones are blue, the shiny ones are magenta with a sky blue leaf. They're kind of cute.
I find myself having an incredible difficulty carrying.
It's 1 foot 8 inches, which is way bigger than I imagined them. I feel like I can hold them in 2 hands.
I feel like they're supposed to be about the size of small, underprivileged children.
Fair enough. That's 0.5 meters for you listeners over the pond who need a Lotad to bring this podcast to you. Get it? Because it crosses the pond.
Yeah. it keeps going.
They weigh 5.7 pounds or 2.7 kilograms. They're very slow to move, and they're slow to process, as evidenced in the anime, where it takes several seconds for them to respond to commands given by their trainers.
Yeah, so they're a little bit dim-witted.
Hello? Do you habla inglés, Lotad? I said water the plants, not sleep in the shade.
He does that way too well. I feel like he's had exposure to this at some point.
Oh, Lotad. I can't understand what you're saying. It's rude to do that. Speak English, or you're fired.
Oh, my God.
Erica.
Oh, of course it's Erica. Why not? Just, yeah.
The gym's not going to manicure itself, now is it?
Oh, God. I got to take my glasses off for this one. You wouldn't know that until I telegraph it. Oh. Oh, okay. I've sufficiently blinded my eyes to the world right now, and I'm ready to go. Okay.
This Pokemon's abilities, well, you have one ability, like in any game, if you don't know how to play Pokemon, but you will either have Swift Swim, which is during the rain, its speed stat is doubled, or Rain Dish, which is its signature ability. During the rain, it regains 1/16 of its max HP each turn. Its hidden ability is Own Tempo, which means it cannot be confused even if it's self-inflicted.
Hooray.
Their habitat, of course, is peaceful wetlands, such as lakes or ponds. They're found throughout Hoenn, and if we can get meta for a minute, they can be found in Sinnoh if you have the Sapphire version plugged into your GBA slot on your DS while you're playing Diamond and Pearl.
Cool.
So I guess maybe they migrate to Sinnoh. I don't know how to interpret that in a
No,
real-world aspect.
They've been smuggled into Sinnoh. See?
Build a wall between Sinnoh and Hoenn. We're separated by an ocean. Put it in the middle of the ocean. Okay.
Make the Lotads build it.
Make the Pokemon build the wall. I saw they got Pokemon now with 2x4s and cinder blocks. I can't do a Donald Trump. I can't really do a Donald Trump, but...
Don't get me started on Conkeldurr and their whole thing. They're another one that's on my list.
Tell you something about Pokemon. I know about Pokemon, okay? I know about Pikachu. I know about Bulbasaur. I know about Diglett. Oh, and don't get me started on Diglett. Diglett turns into Dugtrio. I got kids. I know that. I know about Foxfire. I know about Scyther. I know about Beefree. I know about Butterdrill. So I can keep going. I know a lot about Pokemon. I know about Mewtwo. I know about Mewtwo. I also know about Raichu.
Okay, Raichu's a surprise. Everything about this little six-legged, blue, mustachio-beaked, wet-backed, water-carrying, gardening ferryman...
Oh, we're not done, though. We're not even a third of the way. We're not even done with Lotad, so we're not even a third of the way through. It often carries a mental herb. You know, sometimes Pokemon will carry herbs with them. Mental herb, which sounds like...
Great. Yeah. Mental herb.
Strike. There's another strike.
An herb that helps with your mind problems. You get your head right?
Dave's not here. But what... Do you know what the mental herb does in game, though?
I don't even care at this point.
It snaps the Pokemon out of infatuation. Why? Because Mexicans are too passionate and romantic for their own good?
Yeah, pretty much.
I wonder if that's intentional or if that's synchronicity, the fact that it carries something that snaps it out of infatuation.
Uh-huh.
Okay, one Pokedex entry. Now here, we're getting away from the racial aspect for a minute, so this is refreshing.
Okay.
We can
I bet you 10 to 1 that I can link it to something racist.
Well, we can gripe about it without griping about the racism. But anyway, one Pokedex entry says, Lotad is said to have... Hold on, I got to do it right. Lotad is said to have dwelled on land before. However, this Pokemon is thought to have returned to water because the leaf on its head grew large and heavy. It now lives by floating atop the water. Ah, yes. Now, what do you call that in scientific circles? Gradual change in a species over a long, very, very long period of time. Ah, yes, metamorphosis.
That was good. Metamorphosis.
So Lotad evolves to Lombre at level 14.
Okay.
Lombre. Yeah. Yes, this Pokemon is named Lombre. Strike, whatever.
Yeah.
I've stopped counting. Let's dissect this name for a minute, though, because as with a lot of things in Pokemon, there's actually a lot more there than there is on the surface. This Pokemon is not just a racist caricature, but it is a racist caricature. It's kind of like we were saying with Jynx. There's a lot of very legitimate, undeniable influences to Jynx that have nothing to do with racism, that have to do with mythology and stuff. Same thing with this Pokemon. And what's amazing, though, is how many influences they'll put into just the very simple name of the Pokemon. This Pokemon's name is Lombre. First of all, the obvious one, hombre, which is Spanish for man. And believe me, if you Google image search this guy, if you don't know what he looks like, and yeah. Second of all, though, sombre, I don't know how to pronounce French words, is French for dark, and this is notedly a nocturnal Pokemon. Also, le ombre, literally its name with just an apostrophe in it, is French for the shade, where this Pokemon likes to relax.
Anyone swallowing any of this bullshit,
well, it's got the sombrero that makes shade.
I will totally choke them with a sock.
No, but that's really interesting, though. Like, I'm not just trying to...
It's amazingly interesting. So their name derives from hombres who rest under the shade. Like I said,
okay, we unpacked the name. Let's pack it right back up and leave it in the bottom of the closet. Yeah, close the door. No. This Pokemon species is the jolly Pokemon.
Yeah, because,
Wouldn't be a strike if it weren't for all the other strikes, but I'm going to go ahead and throw that on the strike pile now that we're just piling up stereotypes.
Yeah, jolly, happy Mexicans.
No, it gets worse. It gets worse. Yeah. So let's go through. Okay, it's about 3'11" or 1.2 meters, and it weighs about 71.6 pounds or 32.5 kilograms.
So short Mexican guys.
Yes, they're bipedal and humanoid, and they are often actually mistaken for human children in the dark of night.
Because they are human Mexican children in
that
the
could
dark.
Be a strike. So, see, now I feel like, am I going to become a racist by now looking for things that are racist? Like, maybe that wasn't racist, but now I'm going to make it racist and be like, what? Because people think Mexicans are like short and they look like children. Like what?
No, you're valid. Keep going.
So they have the bill is more pronounced, and it even has a little like divot at the middle. Like it looks a lot more like a mustache, and again, only an upper bill, no lower bill. It's got
because it's not
red
a bill.
Claws. It is a bill.
It
is a bill. It's just
totally.
It's a bill that is very clearly reminiscent of a mustache.
It is clearly a mustache that is only mildly reminiscent of a bill.
It's got red claws on its hands and feet, and its bill is red. It is green. Well, it's actually got like kind of okay. The leaf that was on its back has now moved to its head. And that is like a dark green, and that dark green is also covering a lot of its body. I think that's sort of like a covering on its body, because it mentions that it's covered in a slimy, thin slimy film that's unpleasant to the touch. The Pokedex actually says, quote unquote, "It feels horribly unpleasant to be touched by this Pokemon's hands." Ugh, really? It's a dirty Pokemon in a sombrero which sleeps all day. I didn't get to the part about it sleeping all day, but it's nocturnal, as I said. It sleeps on a bed of water grass all day, according to the Pokedex. Now, the Pokedex, we've mentioned before, was written by children.
Not this one. Not this entry. Not this entry, no.
Maybe these are just children that they've been raised by racist parents. They don't have tact. They're like, we haven't got the Mexican region yet, but I'm nervous for when we do. The Pokemon professor is going to be a Ludicolo.
I hope so.
For your starter Pokemon, you get Lawnmower Rotom. Now, be careful crossing that pond without a Pokemon. It's dangerous.
Oh. That's literally the whole adventure is crossing the border. That's the storyline.
You have to get into Kanto up north.
Jesus, help us.
Then maybe you can get past them to Johto, where they're a lot more liberal.
Yeah, no.
So,
no, because they're constantly hunting you with like...
its eyes are half closed, too.
Oh, yeah, they are half closed.
He's very sleepy. It's a playful trickster. Sometimes when it's underwater, it'll like to like tug on fishing lines, like jump out of the water like baby Jason and startle people.
So sometimes it'll fuck with you. Just a little.
Fuck with you, fuck around with you.
So playful Mexicans.
It lives at the water's edge where it's sunny, and it eats the moss that grows on the rocks at the bottom of the riverbed.
So it likes to hang out near the beach.
Yeah. And just look at it. It's the most obviously Mexican, like more so than the next evolution.
No,
the next evolution.
No, it isn't.
They're both in their own way. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get there, I guess. It evolves to Ludicolo when exposed to a water stone.
Yeah.
So when you use a bong to get it high, that's what a water stone is, right? When you get high off a water pipe.
Sure. Whatever. Hit it in the face with a wet rock.
Kirby's like, I've checked out. I checked out after Pokemon Go. To be honest, it was like Detective Pikachu movie, Lotad, Lombre, Ludicolo. I'm out. Can we do the next week's now?
This I hate Ludicolo so much.
It's ludicrous, and it resembles a colocynth, which is this desert fruit, or a pineapple.
Yeah.
Its Japanese name is Run, Papa! Run, Papa, run! Donald Trump's militia is after you, Papa!
Yeah, get across the border before it's too late.
Run, Papa would probably be how it would be pronounced in Japan.
No.
It is the carefree Pokemon. Ay, Dios mío! Enough!
Carefree.
It's the carefree Pokemon, guys.
Yeah. Now realize that it finally has a bottom bill. Finally.
It has a whole full bill now. It's kind of like a pineapple. It's shaped like a pineapple, and it has like a pineapple on its head.
It is a pineapple, and it has like a pineapple-y stalk on its head, which is clearly meant to be an even bigger, obvious sombrero.
The leaf, of course. It's still the leaf that's on its head. It also...
And now it doesn't have the split, so it's not a broken sombrero, so you're a little bit less... shitty. Now you got the full ring going on your wonderful sombrero pineapple duck.
And it's got like this shaggy tan and brown striped pelt, which resembles, a pineapple, but also a poncho.
A poncho and a hairy Mexican.
Oh, yeah, because it's hairy now suddenly. Strike, 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 strike. If this was baseball, the game would have been over. Luckily,
they would have shot the referee.
There's no crying in baseball,
but there are guns.
That's just a reference. I had no place using it. I'm just like that. It means nothing. Anyway, this Pokemon becomes more powerful when it hears festive music. It loves the dance. If you look at the Ken Sujimori art, it's like totally doing jazz hands.
Yeah, Ariba, ay.
Oh yeah, when it if children are out hiking and they sing, it'll come like closer and join in
and shake maracas because it fucking did that.
It's got those little those little click snappers things.
Brock managed to get one, and it loved to dance around with maracas.
Ugh.
With that Ludicolo voice from that one actor who also did the Adam Lion Cartoon Network show where they had like the goldfish for a coach.
I don't know, because it sounds like Butch. It sounds like the guy from Miss Doubtfire, in Independence Day. Oh, forget my lawyer.
Yes, that guy.
Sounds like Bruce Valanche, kinda.
Yeah, like that. They made his voice like that. So a festive,
like a 60-year-old smoking Jewish man.
Sorta like
they should have made the Pokemon from our next episode be Jewish, and then we could have had a double episode racist double feature. Luckily, the next one's not racist, but if they had given it that voice, it would have been. It's got a big nose.
Here's the even better fun part with the Brock one. It loved to party by shaking maracas, and it loved to hug up during festive times all over the males with that voice. So
weird. What are you even trying to say, Pokemon? Like, what is this
Clearly,
thing?
It was a festive, hairy, gay Mexican.
Okay, I do want to say one thing that's kind of cool. It says that, apparently its cells literally become more energetic and active when it hears the festive music.
Great.
But this, I think, is a reference to how plants can flourish and grow better when you sing to them, which is, I think it's cool how Pokemon can weave so many influences into one thing, which we're going to talk about here in a second. Because
Mythbusters proved that they prefer heavy metal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like heavy metal actually makes the plants grow the best.
Crazy.
Like the screamy type too. Like,
yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why.
Because grass is metal. It is dark. It is angry.
Wonder why? Because it makes you grow up. God damn it!
No, it's because it's pissed.
Put some hair on your chest, like Ludicolo, like a water stone for Ludicolo.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's because the plants are pissed. Look at what we do every day. Look at what we have the Mexicans do to them every day.
Right? Don't you see they're always like headbanging?
Yeah.
Headbanging in the wind.
We think it's the breeze. No, they're composing their own metal symphonies. Yeah.
So it is actually fascinating, though, how many things are tied into this. So this Pokemon isn't just a Mexican stereotype. Now it is. Most assuredly so, most definitely is a Mexican stereotype. Also, it is also a kappa.
No, it isn't. Not even remote. No.
What? How can you say that?
Kappas have the beaks of turtles. Not
Kappas
ducks.
have beaks of turtles, and it has
They
a duck
have
beak.
a bowl on the top of their head.
It does have a beak. Okay, they have a bowl on the top of their head, and
They also have turtle shells, webbed hands, webbed feet, large tails, and eat cucumbers as a big primary thing of their lives.
Clearly, though, the idea of this Pokemon with a fucking leaf on its head that carries water that has a beak is influenced by Kappa. Don't deny it out of being, like, having a grudge against the Pokemon.
Here's a fun little...
Let's explain to people what the Kappa is.
Okay.
It's a yokai. You know what a yokai is, right?
Yes, I do.
They're like the real life Pokemon. Like they're the spirits that inhabit
spirits, demons, and monsters
Yeah,
throughout Eastern lore.
like Pokemon. It's not narrowed down. Sometimes they're very animal-like. Sometimes they're like fairies or nature spirits. Sometimes they're like demons.
Floating umbrellas that are on fire with one Cyclops eye and a giant 4-foot-long tongue with a human foot sticking out instead of a regular umbrella cane.
Yeah, and sometimes they're a ghost or like a dead person. You know, like there's
that
very many.
Twisted thing I just described.
Or that again. The Kappa is a specific one. As we said, it's like a turtle. It's reptilian. It's got a bowl on its head. Like either into its head or on top of its head. It's like a dish-shaped feature.
It's scooped into its skull.
There's many different depictions, but yeah, that's the most common one. And when it leaves the water, it has to keep that full of water or else it will die. Just like the Lotad, which has to stay hydrated or else it'll die when it leaves the water.
Sometimes it just becomes paralyzed in some mythologies.
Yeah, they vary. They're tricksters that they like to play harmless pranks, you know, like pulling on fishing lines or looking up women's dresses or drowning children or raping women. Oh, yeah, sometimes they're not all fun and games.
Yeah.
They apparently really like to drown horses, but if you catch one in the act, you can make them apologize. You can make them give you a writing in apology. Mm-hmm. An apology in writing, excuse me. Like, I'm sorry I tried to kill your horse. And its Kappa mom is like, no, now you say it and mean it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I tried to kill your horse, Koji-san.
Now, I personally actually do love Kappa mythology. I really do. So, I think they're awesome. They also are very proud of their strength, and they have
They're very polite.
massive amounts of strength, and they have a very rigid code of manners, ethics, and conduct.
Yeah, one way to defeat them
is to bow in their presence lower and lower, because they won't just bow right away and dump all their water. They're too smart for that. So one of the ways that in an old story a monk managed to defeat one was to slowly bow lower and lower, because it could not allow, with its code of conduct, to bow any less than the monk. So it slowly made it lose more and more of its water until it was helpless. And I don't remember the rest of the story after that.
Well,
but
it might have been, if you refill the water on their head, they have to serve you for all of eternity. So that might have been what happened.
Right. So it's very cool in that way. They use the story of the Kappa to teach young children the importance of respect and manners and bowing.
It likes young children, too. In fact, the only thing it likes more than young children is cucumbers. Oh, we're talking about dietary habits, by the way. I didn't stress that. It likes to eat young children.
Yes.
And cucumbers are the only food that they like more than human children. Sometimes people will actually throw in offerings of cucumbers, like this is back when you would bathe,
Way back
in the spring and whatever.
Yeah, to keep them at bay.
Yeah, and they'd sometimes write their names on it to be like, hey, I threw this cucumber. Please don't eat me. Don't eat my kids. Please don't eat my kids. I need them to take care of me when I get old.
And to take over my farm and all this shit, yeah.
You wouldn't understand. You're a kappa. So,
However, here's my address, Kappa. If you feel like it, you can always come over, make sure to carry some jugs of water on your back, and we'll feed you more cucumbers from our garden if you help us to maintain it. Yeah.
There's more things you can do with that cucumber, too, if you catch my drift, than just eat it.
Oh,
You'll figure it out.
oh my God. Oh, God.
There's more things you can do with that divot on your head, too. I can think of a few.
But some areas in Japan, they say that you can protect yourself by eating cucumbers before you go to bathe in the water. However, some other areas say that that's just going to guarantee an attack. Yeah. Which, come on, which is it, guys? How am I supposed to be safe? How do I know what to eat before I bathe? You know what I think? I think there were kappas going around that's like, hey, I heard if you eat cucumbers before you bathe, kappas won't attack you. And he's like, hey, I spread this rumor. Dude, humans are going to start eating cucumbers before they bathe. So it's like they're pre-seasoned for us. This is awesome.
Word, yes, indeed. Quite yummy, tasty humans.
No. That's not how they talk. They're like, hey, man.
Oh, God. Hey, man. Delicious humans.
King Koopa is also kind of based on the Kappa. King Bowser Koopa of Super Mario Brothers fame.
Just a flaming one.
Well, he was originally based off the Ox King from Dragon Ball Z. I'm sorry, from Journey to the West.
No.
You know the story about Sun Wukong, the monkey with the staff that challenged the heavens and stuff.
Yeah.
The Ox King was an ox king, and that's why Bowser has like horns and stuff. But somebody was like, I don't know, I think he looks more like a turtle. And so it's like, yeah, maybe we can make him kind of like a Kappa too. And,
Yeah, so they made a Kappa cow Kappa.
I mean, he doesn't have a cup on his head where he gets all his power from.
No, but he has a crown.
But I was about to say, then again, what do you call a crown then, if not a cup that you put on your head, which you derive all your power from?
Yeah,
they
I learned
also,
a new perspective.
They also, as we said, bear a resemblance to pineapples, to ducks, to Mexican stereotypes, and to the Ame Furikozo, which is this weird, it has sort of a broken umbrella on its head, and that it looks kind of, the way its umbrella looks kind of like how it has the leaf on its head,
Yeah.
That's pretty much Ludicolo.
None of any of that. More of the earlier stuff with the pineapples and the racism and the needing to be shot out of a cannon into the sun, where it will probably live a very happy life of dancing on the festive sun.
Wow, I was playing Pokemon Go today, and it looks like I caught a Mexican. Send to Willow and turn off this game. Right in my pocket. As we mentioned, this is the first part of a sort of two-parter thing. Next episode of Sylph Radio, we're going to be discussing the counterpart. I don't know if you know how certain Pokemon have counterparts. There'll be a 3-stage evolutionary line that uses a stone to evolve.
Oh yeah.
And then that you can only get in one version. In the other version, same thing with different Pokemon, or that you have to trade. Abra and Machop, for example.
Right.
Next time, we're going to be talking about this generation's counterpart to Ludicolo. Luckily, not as racist. Not at all racist, from what I can tell.
It is the Shiftry family, of which I personally love their derived form.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun talking about them. They're also based on a yokai. They're also a 3-stage Pokemon that needs to evolve with a stone at the 3rd stage. They are available only in Ruby, whereas this one's available only in Sapphire. And it's going to be a fun episode, so we hope you'll tune in.
You have to after this.
Yeah, actually you have to. It's mandated by law.
By law, and just, I need to know that there are listeners out there who will help me get through what I just endured in this show. by listening to much better content in the next one.
And in the meantime, if you're not familiar with our other show, please go check out Fairpoint Podcast. You know what I do? I usually sleep on it when I know that podcasts I really love, the members do other podcasts. And it's kind of dumb of me. I shouldn't do that because I would totally enjoy it if I enjoy that podcast. Fairpoint has something for everybody. If you go look at the list of episodes we've done, you will find one that you enjoy.
Except Ludicolo, who is not invited to enjoy any of it.
Jeez, Jeremy. Yes, he is. He was created as a horrible negative. We can't blame him for embodying a stereotype.
Yes,
we can only blame the system that created the stereotype to begin with.
Okay.
So don't embody the stereotype of lazy podcast listener. Go check out Fairpoint Podcast. And also, please show us some love. Show us some support. Please look us up on Facebook. It means the world to us. We see every time somebody likes the page, even if we don't see your name because of your privacy settings, we see that our likes went up. And we're like, that's so awesome. It makes us feel so good. We post really great Pokemon fan art that we like on the page.
I love the art. Seriously, it's really cool.
Thank you, man. I don't do any of the art, but I try to find it.
No, yeah.
And it's cool. It's a really great way to support us without having to spend any money. If you can give us a rating on iTunes as well, that is everything. Or if you don't use iTunes, but there's a way to give us a rating, however you can. 5-star ratings are the world. That is what tells iTunes to show it to other people. And if you leave a review as well, that's really tells iTunes to show it to other people. If you're like, hey, this podcast is pretty sweet, I like it, you can just be like, you can even just say good. I think if you just leave a review and do a 5-star rating, iTunes is like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
So,
or, Super Bowl Jumbotrons, Goodyear blimps.
yeah, if you own one of them and you have you are willing to spend thousands of dollars to display Sylph Radio, a Pokemon podcast with Nathan K and guest hosts on blimp at the Super Bowl, that'd be amazing. That's a great way that you can support the podcast without having to spend billions of dollars. It's got to only be thousands, maybe $1 million.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's got to be at least $1 million, I would think. Yeah, commercials. They pay $1 million for commercials, so maybe we'll have to spend billions. But yeah, if you were already considering it, you've clearly got enough, Donald Trump. From the Secret Room, I'm Nathan Kappa.
And I'm Jeremy V.
And we both will talk to you next time.